Good morning. Ken Lee here, founder of Austechvr. Firstly, I'd like to thank the Gold Coast Elite Sports Conference for having us, the City of Gold Coast for being the major sponsors, all the other partners and sponsors, and most importantly, the attendees. Thank you very much for joining us and making this, this convention an amazing experience so far. A little bit about Austechvr. We work in the space of community and fan engagement. Using the latest in technology such as augmented reality and virtual reality. Another example of that is we've actually built this platform that you're viewing this conference on, this virtual conference. So that's another aspect of community engagement. Joining me is the founder of a juggernaut of the nutrition and supplement space in Australia. Body Science is a mature company. It was founded in 1999 and has gone from strength to strength since. Welcome, Greg Young.
Mate, welcome to Body Science HQ. Thank you everyone for joining.
Awesome. Like, I mean, I couldn't think of a better place on the Gold Coast to do this. You just look around this room, the amount of history and coolness. There's jerseys from all the different teams that Greg and Body Science have sponsored over the years. So,
well, mate, we've been in elite sport since 2002, so that was our first ever partnership we did, and there's not many walls left in the office.
No, there's not. I mean, it's a great place. I'd love to be able to work here. Okay, Greg, hey, just enough about me. How about a little bit about Body Science? Can you just give us a quick minute or two on Body Science?
Oh, look, Body Science was founded in 1999. The concept when we first launched was around sport, not bodybuilding, which was a big thing back then. The only people using sports supplements back then were bodybuilders. We saw a different path, a lifestyle sport path, and that's where we've been ever since. It's in our DNA. We run drug testing programs. We do all types of things. We're very athlete driven. We sponsor more elite teams. And look, I hate the word sponsorship. We partner with more elite teams than probably any other brand in Australia that I can think of, outside your Gatorades and your Powerades.
Yeah,
I mean, they're everywhere. Our brand is really about the athlete, and that's what this is all about for us. You know, you asking me to come on here at a sports conference was a little daunting for me because I don't normally do the public speaking thing. So, but for us, yeah, it's been a great journey. Who doesn't love sport, mate? Like, it's just the best place to be.
100%.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's chat a little bit about what brings us here and how we sort of connected not long ago. Let's talk about Shred AR. So it's an amazing product that Body Science has launched,
yep.
And we created it together as partnership. As you said, we both companies worked really hard, Austechvr and Body Science, to build this, and I think it's been a real success. So let's talk about Shred AR and how did Body Science see AR as a opportunity for your brand?
Mate, it's really interesting how it came on. I mean, obviously summer's a great time. Everyone's out running, doing what they do, getting fit and getting healthy. So for our brand, we have 130 odd SKUs, I believe, and possibly 80% of those are drug tested. So for us, we've got this constant battle of sport versus mass market.
Yep.
And because athletes need and want and demand, trusted quality supplements, whereas mass market is, I just want to buy it on price or whatever I can do. So Shred's one of our therapeutics. It's actually a low-level medical product, but it's designed around weight loss focus, nootropics, used by a heap of athletes. We've actually got the Hasta branded version. We had that many athletes using it. It's like it's a much more of a focus-based pre-workout concept versus the traditional pre-workouts where grade up, very quick down.
Yeah, and it's also, like, from my experience, great for people like myself who are sitting there working at the desk all day.
And mate, that's how this augmented reality came out. Like, I met you guys through Trav, who was from the Suns, who now works for you. And we just happened to be having a beer one day, and you said to me, Greg, how does this work? I've been on your website, I've done this, I went there, I went this. Where else do I have to go? And I thought, you know what? We sit in sport and we sit in sports nutrition, and we've been doing it for so long, we forget that the customer journey is always new.
Yep.
And we needed something frictionless. And for us, it was about, and you basically paid out by the conversation we had that day. And look, I'll be honest, talking to everyone, I thought AR was way out of our scope, out of our budgets. It wasn't even in our marketing plan for this summer. Like, we put this together in 4 weeks, and the feedback from the marketplace is you guys have just done amazing things. Because when you look at the AR program we put together, there's 19 key articles from beginner's guides to understanding your metabolism, what are calories and macros, what are common diet myths, all written by sports scientists and dietitians and nutritionalists. There's 10 hours of listening to some of the best sports scientists in Australia speak about, and we've got good relationships after 21 years in that area, so they're the best of the best to talk about what's the best training for weight loss, and none of it is hypey garbage. It's all real. And the part I loved about the AR side, that when you talked about it, was we have all these funnels and all these transmedia programs that we do, but you've got to stitch that stuff together. And like everyone's a media company now, like Red Bull set the pathway in sport that if you're not a media company of some type, you don't exist. So we just create so much content with so many good people. And it was like, how do I get that to the hero here, the customer? And when you started talking to me about, I was looking going, this guy makes games. He's an idiot. Like, where am I going with this? This is crazy. And within 10 minutes, and sorry about that's me being honestly true, within 10 minutes, I just went, oh my God, this guy's a legend. He knows exactly what I want. He can see what I want. And when you started talking about us taking it from a product to a supermarket where we can have an athlete talk about the product from a shelf by scanning, we can have someone, their diet come up in store and create shopping lists from these things, and all these things that we talked about through to, and look, I'll talk about a Gold Coast team here. We sponsor the Gold Coast Titans, going to Gold Coast Titans on game day and creating things for the kids, but even like, how do you walk through the stadium? How do you find what you want to do? Hearing messages, and from our part, it'll be about brand and what we do around the Titans and what we do on game day. And I just went, this is amazing. And I honestly thought it was in the realm of gamers and gaming. I did not think it was anything that, traditional sports or sports nutrition companies could use.
I think I completely agree, obviously, being a big fan of AR and what it can do. But people may be thinking, well, how does a brand cross over to what we're talking, our audience here? So I see fan and community engagement as being, the same, very similar as if we're doing something for a national sporting organisation through to a national team, through a community team or brand. Organisations of all sizes and types need to be able to speak to the community and their fans. And this is one real way of doing it, all the way from a retail side where it's not very expensive. But as Greg said, customers have to be the hero in the story, in your brand story, or champion. And this is a perfect way of doing that, and giving them all the information they need to buy right away in the shop, or giving them all the information about how to find their seats in the stadium, or interact with players, or interact with past stars of clubs, etc., etc. So, really,
just touching on that if I can.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the AR that you put together, from that, you can create vegetarian, gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan diets, 1,500 calories, 821, 24, 27, 3,000. And it's all been designed by dietitians and nutritionists. So you answer a series of questions, you go through, and it all starts with the journey on the AR, which for us was really difficult because you need to build trust. Like, why would someone want to come and invest in us if they're not an athlete? Athletes are a given. We are one of the pioneers. We started the first informed sport program in Australia. We started the first HASTA, and that's your band tested, third-party testing. It's been a big part of our brand. We used to do it manually on spreadsheets for years, and it was a nightmare, those groups coming in. But the thing we need people to understand here, and commercial guys, is it's frictionless. So if you're a commercial manager here and you've got assets to sell like jerseys, shorts, signs, or static type stuff, AR just opens up a complete gambit of new things that you can now sell. Everyone you talk to with an AR concept, because the way you guys run AR and what you lock onto or whatever you want them to do, it's really, you can be tripling the income of a commercial premise by you. And you might look at me and go, wow, big call there, Greg. But I just look at, because I've been in this 4 weeks and we've had to really invest our time into understanding what it is, changing our marketing, getting it to market within 4 weeks, which was massive. And I thank your team for working with us on that. You held our hands really in that play. But if I was at the Titans or South or Dogs, they've got a whole lot of new assets they don't even know they can sell now because of this virtual AR, and it's so engaging. Like, are there any stats on, the engagement on AR versus Instagram or versus web? I haven't really looked that far.
Yeah, e-commerce stats, it's up to 40-50%, conversion rates with AR.
That's huge.
It is huge because, it is really engaging. And a couple of things on that where you can really push ahead is, number one, we specialize in web AR, which is frictionless because you don't need to install an app.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't going to install an app to look at this
No, exactly. It's too hard. Yeah.
Okay, but a QR code on top pointed at the jar and bang, up it pops.
Next thing, you've got a dietitian, a scientist, you've got everything you need.
It's frictionless, and that's the same with if we want to go into clubland, with sporting teams, it's frictionless. You can get a lot of views really quickly just by using a QR code, sending people to a website that they are active, and it works on their phone. So the other really important thing that I think about a lot with Web AR is it's another asset that you own. Because we don't own our Facebook and our Instagram pages really. Yeah, we are beholden to them, but you own your podcast, you own your website, you also own that Web AR experience. So it's completely within your control.
Yep.
So
you can repurpose it and you can grow it and continue on, and it doesn't have to be one concept forever. It's
100%. I think that's really important. Yeah. So that's an asset.
So if people are working with you, and I mean, obviously, I was amazed at the price that you quoted, and obviously, it's for those people in the US, it's Aussie dollars too, so it's monopoly money.
True.
It is. How do you work with customers in this space? Do you have, and I'm probably throwing you under a bus here, sorry. Do you have concepts where people just have monthly programs and you just continually evolve through, or is it project driven?
Yeah, we've got a few things. So we're developing a retail type of scenario where smaller companies that may want 250 to 500 views a month can go out and and not spend a massive amount of money on licensing and really the only time that the money they need to spend is really the development time. So you can have a really engaging basic experience that will leverage the brand and get some really good PR driving for that brand. All the way through to bespoke jobs such as yours and stuff we're doing with the city and potentially some other work coming up. So look, it's the whole gambit all the way through, from people launching gin bottles, potentially, gin labels, through to the body sciences, the Sunwaters of the world and the bigger corporations.
Because it's all about, these days, whether you're a sports nutrition company or you're selling a sports franchise, it's about telling that story, that vision, and that knowing what that journey is with your consumer. And I think that it was so, I just want people to understand they need to talk to you. It was so frictionless. And I know we're not here to sell an ad for you or me or whatever. It's to talk to people, why did we do this? But it really was simple. And I think people need to understand. We had a beer 4 weeks ago. I went through that process I just discussed earlier, and we're live. Product started leaving the factory last week. And one of our challenges for you was we don't have one label. We have 2 labels and we have 6 flavors in each of that. So there's a lot of things that you had to champion through that process. And for me, going into supermarkets and those places where we don't have people that can tell our brand story, we're going to heavily invest in AR in the future. And so people can get what's the nutritionals, how do I use it, why does it work? And then I can have my athletes going, how does it work? How do I use it? And I can have my non-athletes saying, how does it work? How do I use it? So I can tell these stories. I can download programs. I can give shopping lists, all from what takes. And you are dropping a video at the bottom of this?
Yes. It should be in chat. There should be a video hopefully soon. We've got a question up here as well. If Lily could drop that video of the Shred AR experience in the chat, that would be great. The other thing as well, I think what's made this a really good success, and really all the products that we actually deliver a success, is that it's not just a job. Like, we want to partner. So Body Science and Austechvr worked really hard in creating this. It just wasn't us creating it. We did work hard together. So
we did a think tank. I mean, AR, when you asked me what AR was, I thought it was gaming. So we had to step back and go, wow, what do we do here? Because there was really, when I said to you guys, what are the boundaries? You said, there's not, what do you want? And I'm like, wow, that's a big play. And we got exactly what we wanted. We got a menuing system that gives people all these tools to use, and they're all free.
Yeah, 100%.
So for us, it was perfect, because that's what we're about. We're about educating.
Yeah,
we're 21 years old. We're past,
and that's it. Educating customers and new customers as well. I think it's really important. So Travis got a question. Can you see AR helping sponsors and brands push more into the stadium experiences of fan engagement, maximising the partnership? And I think this is a little bit on what Greg was talking about before as well. And say with the Titans, I don't want to drop any sponsor names.
Come on, Titans, get on board.
For example, the part owners of the Titans Frizzels, we could at halftime put a beautiful big Frizzels car in the middle of the stadium, and have something coming off there, or past club champions interacting with fans via AR. all that stuff. And I think, or Village Roadshow, for example, with a Batman or any of their DC characters interacting with the kids at the kids centre, instead of just having a blow up castle. We could really activate that stadium, or have the big Titan. What's the Titans mascot? Big Titan mascot.
Ooh.
Standing on top of the stadium and waving people in from Robina Station, sort of thing. You could do that sort of thing with Web AR. Just and that's not just the Titans; it's pretty much any club around Australia or the world. And it doesn't take much. It's just a bit of imagination, a bit of hard work, and I think the big part of that too is what you've done really well, Greg, and your team is. When you create these experiences, it's also the PR around it to push it, because you don't want to be the best kept secret.
Yeah, exactly.
You want people to know it,
yeah.
And this sort of stuff does get a lot of traction and a lot of eyeballs. So,
and when you look at a typical marketing department now, like we invest this much time in content creation for platforms that are algorithm driven. So we only get delivered to who they think we should be delivered to, unless we fund beyond that. We've got EDM programs. I mean, when you start looking at this here, and you can strap it on products, you can put it on labels, you can stick it on seats, you can put it on the ground, you can have it on assets around, you can have it on buildings, whatever you want to, and you can talk about how it actually works, the way it locks in, but it's just unlimited what you can do.
Yeah, it is. It really comes down to the imagination, and what Greg was talking about then, how it works. So with the Web AR or AR in general, we can sort of attach it to a sign or a label, an image, a logo, or we can place it on the ground or on a table. So, you've got an experience right here. So, look, really, it's what do you need out of an experience? Who do you want to engage? And I think another really important point there was you're not really hitting people that you're actually pushing towards. You're actually hitting people that are picking up your product.
Absolutely.
Or that are at the stadium.
Yeah.
They're actually your customer. They're your people. So that's I think the magic there.
You look at a beer company. You're selling beer. You're drinking a can of beer in the stands. Next thing you can totally activate. Yeah. You can run a competition. You can do whatever you want. You can have people. Look at Forex. I think. Well, hopefully, I'm not saying the wrong brand here, the Titans, but I possibly could be now when I think about it. But you look at that. You could be going to their island. You could be doing all the things they do. You could look at how they manufacture a beer, what it is. You could look at the health sides of the beer. There's things to look at. You look at beer's got water in it. Yeah,
that's a big point that people miss.
We did meet on a beer, so yeah. There's another question.
Awesome. Got another question through. What about having an event pack with a sample of your products? As a matter of fact, I think that's a really cool thing as well. We're doing that. Like this here is essentially that. So Greg's got a label, so a pamphlet with a QR code and a picture of the Body Science product. That's actually an active AR situation. So you can activate books, brochures, all that sort of stuff. So look, it's a great idea.
If I can simplify that, if you scan the left and hold it over the product picture on the right, you have access to dietitians, you have access to your own, build your own meal plans, all that stuff just comes off that one piece of paper. So how did Body Science activate that and that sample pack? We printed out 20, 30, I think it was 30,000 of those and gave them to our retailers to just put in their web orders. So that was one of the strategies that we did in rolling that out, because all of a sudden, all of our clients now have dietitians, nutritionists, and sports scientists giving their clients help.
There it is.
So you can see it working live on the phone there. So that's how simple it is. It's as simple as a sticker or a jar. That's why I fell in love with it, because it's just frictionless. And I know Ken uses that word a lot. I'm using it for a different purpose. For me, it was about our transmedia program. We have all these things we do, yet we always have to drive people to where we want them. And then the journey starts. This just starts the journey and completes the journey. So yeah, I was very excited about what AR can actually do.
And we've got another question from John. Can AR help a company like Body Science reach an international market easier than other forms of marketing, as they are a world-class in elite sport?
That's a good question. I think that will really change when we start with stadium experiences and fan engagement.
Yeah.
Right now we're probably talking to people who are getting into summer fitness, like yourself. You said, Greg, I want to lose a few kilos. I've taken shred. I've listened to this podcast. I've watched these YouTube videos, and I didn't realize that we still had that stuff out there. And I thought, we need to put this into play. So can it help a look, if somebody comes across the scan code and that type of thing in this instance, possibly, but from a perspective of the fan engagement, that's obviously seen by a wider market. But then the other side of it is, I think the days of us doing print presentations are gone. I think our presentations of the future will be AR based. So if we want someone overseas to get our brand story, get a video from myself, for example, or our head of science or our nutritionist, or testimonials from all the teams that we do, we can put that into a very simple, low cost AR program. And you guys need to call Ken, because it's what you think it is in your head. It's not that cost. I mean, we didn't do a big project where you guys have actually gone through and stadiums and done the journey through. Like, that's a massive project. Yeah. And you've done dams. You showed me all that, and I went, wow. I would just confuse the shit out of my customers. Pardon me, I swore. I would just confuse my customers if I went down that process. I just want to deliver tools, and that's how we use it. But that's the diversity of it. There's no real rules. It's what do you need to do to make the customer happy.
It's completely creative. So yeah, it comes down to imagination. And even, I've just had a question there. How would be able to get one of the phone scanning product? I'll actually put a link up in the Austechvr chat on our partner page, where you can actually get that. Yeah, I'll put one of these up into there, and so
and to add to that, if I can add to that as well, we've even put it on our website so people can scan our website and start that. So they're looking at our website and they've got the AR playing on the front of it.
Yeah, it works on the computer screen as well.
You could do it on a t-shirt. That's the thing. Like, how do you want to activate it? It's just unbelievable. Our reps are going to have it on their shirt soon. So it's we're just learning this. So, but there's no rule book here. I think AR is pretty new. It is in my industry. I don't know if anyone else has done it. Have they?
Yeah, they have. In Australia, no. Yep. And I think where we're pushing new ground is it's web AR. It's not app based, and I think that's really important because people just don't want to download apps anymore. We've got enough apps. We're apped out. So I think if you can hit it up the QR code, again, frictionless. It's so easy. Anyone can do it. And there's 3 billion phones on this earth, and most of them can do AR.
Yeah. And that diet program we've written just quietly isn't Australia specific. So if you do want the help of a dietitian, nutritionist, there is a great program up there to look at.
Yeah. Well, I guess diet's global, isn't it? Doesn't matter where you are.
No, we're all about clean eating and being smart. We're not about 800 calorie diets and stupidity. We're about people getting out, being fit, happy and healthy. So, when I sat with the dietitian and the nutritionist, they have two very different ethos on how they work. Yep. So I wanted one in the middle, where we sit in the middle. Like the dietitian's more one-on-one, nutritionists are more group-based and community-based type concepts.
So you want to make it lasting. Yeah. So it's not 3 weeks and you're like, oh, this is killing me, and that's it.
No, this is a really simple food choice concept. It's really easy. And you can be gluten-free, you can be vegan, vegetarian, whatever you want. It's really, really simple the way it works. And that's all from, you've helped us launch that because of what you created.
We've got another question here. At a sporting event, having a taste sample store.
Absolutely.
I think Greg would be onto that. He loves getting his product out there. And I've got to say, this stuff does taste absolutely fantastic.
Nice little product.
But all this stuff does. And I think that's a really good opportunity as well.
If you were going to do that type of thing, you'd have a pull-up or you'd have a sticker on a bench that people could scan. And when you're at a sporting event, staff are expensive. So you might have 2 people on an event and you've got 50 people lining up to do something. So you can engage with that team through the AR by having something simple as a $200 pull-up. They're scanning, it's telling you how to use it, what it's about, the safety side of it, whatever you need to know. If you know your customer in the event, you can have all that stuff sitting there. So definitely at a taste testing store, and you can be selling your sponsors' products on the side. You can be doing whatever you want. So, I'm all about this, helping the whole sporting community, not just about single brand. It's how do I get to here? How do I do this? And who's helping this? And who's involved? And you can put all that in very simply.
And on that, what you're saying there is activating your shelves or your stands. And I think when we get back to normal and we're going back to physical conferences, and I think they're going to be hybrid moving forward, both physical and virtual, rolling together forevermore. I think a really big opportunity there is to activate your shelves with AR, as Greg was sort of alluding to there, where you can have an empty desk with a target on there, which, pops up like a hologram, and you'll get so many people to that stall and so much so many connections. I think that's the way to go. As Greg said, putting stuff up on the walls, and that's a big part of our our thought process moving forward, particularly when we're in a proper post-COVID world.
Well, getting back to that taste sample store, like taste testing is very much in sports nutrition as a way to get people to think taste is more important than formulas these days, but that's what the industry has become. So you look at it, we might be taste testing our shred. We've got 130 products. So if we get that scan code on, we can ask the question, what do you want to do? Do you want to lose weight, build muscle, feel better, mental health, whatever it is? Click on that, there's 5 products, boom, next thing they're in your products. Your products aren't even at the taste testing store, and people have engaged with it, and you can deliver them to articles, podcasts, web pages. There's no limits as to what you can do. So I think when you're looking at this in your marketing budgets, you've got to look at it as what's staff costing me and all the things that I do. And I'm not talking about not employing people, because you're going to put people in other positions in your business to run this type of stuff, but you're going to get better output. And we're all looking for how can we keep our staff happy, but how can we also get more out of each other?
Yeah, and make the job easier.
And that's what you're making the job easier, because all the assets that you create are there for them. They don't have to be there going, oh my goodness, I don't know the answer.
And the beautiful thing about this sort of stuff anyway is, most likely you've already got the assets ready to go anyway. It's
Everyone
just a way
does.
of repackaging it.
Exactly. Like it's a massive, our first touch into AR was a repurpose program. I don't think we created anything new. We just went, wow, we have all this data. What should we put out? I think it's like 19 articles by dietitians and scientists and 10 hours of voice. So yeah, there's a heap of YouTube stuff. And one of the biggest questions we get asked by people is, what is a thermogenic? Do I need it? So, like Dr. Brad will talk about that.
Yeah, my big question was, can I have coffee and have this? And I realised it's around 1.5 coffees per serving, correct? So
yeah, you've got to watch your caffeine levels. Some people are tolerant to it, some aren't.
But I'm doing well on 3 coffees and shred. So
yeah, well, most people stop their coffees when they start taking shred, because it gives you that clarity as well, that mood status. So, but I love my coffee in the morning. I'm still a coffee man, but then I'm a shred man after that.
All right, I think we're done. We've rocketed through 30 minutes. Unfortunately, I think we could keep on going for another half an hour easily, and sort of broach into other subjects. But if you haven't seen Body Science, check out Body Science. As I said, they're a juggernaut in Australia in the nutrition and supplement industry. And check out Shred. It's a really good product. It's new. It's launched for summer, and be a part of the push. As I said, I'll actually put the Shred experience up onto Austechvr's chat in our partner booth. And any questions, I'll be online in the next half an hour to answer any in the Austechvr booth. Other than that, really enjoy the rest of your conference. And again, thank you to the partners, Gold Coast Elite Sports Conference and the City of Gold Coast.
Yeah,
and
thanks,
thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.